mention goes out to Jody Schwer. She edged out teammates Molly McDonald and Nicole Ziegler for the all-around title. Great job, girls. Plenty of solid performances in basketball. Bismarck High's Brian Wallner closed out the regular season with 19 points and 9 rebounds in a win over Belcourt. Class B, Halliday's Doug Swenson looks like he wants a return trip to state. The big guy had 25 points in a win over Stanton, and then the district title game against Beulah, 32 points and hauling in 25 rebounds. Rame captured the District 12 championship, and Josh Fisher led the way. His 27 points paced the Pirates in their win against Belfield. Strasburg's Greg Euland had games of 22, 37, and 17 points as the Clippers took the hardware in District 10. Some other hot outings: Solon's Chad Morissette, 38 versus Hebron in the consolation round, and Nick Schauer of Lerwischik zapped Zeeland for 30 points, leading the Badgers there. And that's this week's Honor Roll. Coaches, you can always nominate athletes by calling or writing us here at the station.
Okay, thank you much, Ed. Wall Street?
14 blocked shots in 3 days at the tournament, helping the Wolverines to a third-place finish. He was also on the all-tournament team. Teammate Jeremy Nodlin put up some good numbers at the State B as well and was a member of the all-tournament team. Sticking with hoops, Scott Schneider of Rame makes the honor roll. The lone senior of the Rame team helped the Pirates to a 7th-place finish. He also made the all-tournament team. On the track now, and Jason Breitzman of Bismarck High won both the 400-meter and the 200-meter at the state indoor track meet. BHS also won the team title. Breitzman's teammate Robert Rentschler won the high jump at the state indoor track meet, clearing 6 feet 5 inches. Ryan Dietrich of Century is another track honor roll recipient. Dietrich won the 60-meter dash at the state indoor at 6.93 seconds. On the girls' side, Rachel Kraft of Dickinson won the 800-meter run at the state indoor with a time of 2:25.89. And her teammate, Sarah Rowe of Dickinson, won the 3,000-meter with a winning time of 11:02.22. Congratulations to all our honor rolls athletes this week. On the tennis courts today, world number 1 ranked Arantxa Sanchez Vicario lost her 3rd round match at the Lipton Inter Championships in Key Biscayne, Florida. The top seed was ousted by 25th seeded Marion.
Halliday and Grenora tip it off. The nightcap, Mayport Clifford Galesburg against Carrington. Both games should prove to be some exciting games.
Well, Roy, the cream has definitely risen to the top after the first day of the tournament, because 3 of the 4 teams that are playing tonight in the semifinals were the top 3 teams in the state at the end of the year. Carrington number 1, Mayport CG number 2, and Grenora number 3. Grenora 26-0 against Halliday at 24-1. At 21-4 rather, and then later tonight Carrington against Mayport Clifford Galesburg.
That should be a great game. Earlier today it was Litchfield Marion Montpelier getting by Rame 76-73. Litchfield Marion Montpelier was led by Chris McDonough with 28 points. In the other game it was Oaks getting by Munich 78-69. Oaks' Pat Locken had 21, but Oaks was led by Mike Wolf, who threw in 24 points and 13 boards. Oaks led by as many as 20 in that game. Well, let's head to our other people who are helping us out with this broadcast, and that's Brett Garland and John Cole. Brett and John, what do you got for us?
Thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. I've been covering Hunter Berg since the 8th grade. The bigger the game, the better he performs, so look for him to have an outstanding night. And also, I expect the Grenora Gophers to put a lot of pressure on the Halliday guards. They're just not going to let them bring the ball up and shove the ball inside to Swenson.
That's what Coach Steckler told me just moments ago. They have to handle Grenora's press in order to win this game. You said big. Well, Grenora has to handle their big guys, Swenson in particular, if they have a chance. So it's one of those balancing act kind of thing.
Who played very well yesterday. A win tonight, and tomorrow you play for the title.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Grenora, located in the northwest corner of the state of North Dakota. Halliday, basically right in the middle of the beautiful state. They come into this game at 21-4. Here's your starting lineups for Grenora. Starting at guard, it is Hunter Berg. The Mr. Basketball candidate stands 5'10". Then Kelly Gunlickson. He sprained his ankle yesterday. He'll be back in. Jesse Madsen is a 6-foot senior. He'll start in forward. Then it's Dan Berg. He'll play in forward. John Norby stands in the center position. He stands 6'2". They are coached by Gene Anderson of Grenora.
The Halliday Wolverines are the Region 7 champions. They're making their 2nd straight trip to the state. Bo Nodlin, one guard, the other Luke Morris, a 6'1 junior. The forwards are 6'2 sophomore Chris Wasem and also 6'4 junior Jeremy Nodlin. And the big guy in the middle, 6'8 senior Doug Swenson. The head coach of the Halliday Wolverines is Dave Steckler in his 1st year.
It's Halliday versus Grenora. We'll have the tip for you right after this brief timeout.
Telecast of these tournament games has been authorized by special arrangement with the Board of Directors of the North Dakota High School Activities Association.
All right, thanks a lot, Dan. Halliday Wolverines against the Grenora Gophers in our first game tonight. Halliday comes into this contest with 21 wins, 4 losses. They are your Region 7 and District 13 champions. The Grenora Gophers, on the other hand, are 26-0, the lone undefeated team in the tournament. They are your Region 8 champions. Grenora, led, of course, by Hunter Berg. Hunter Berg is the man with the plan, a Mr. Basketball finalist, and probably a Mr. Basketball period, Dan.
Well, we'll find that out after the completion of tomorrow night's game, but I don't think there's any doubt that he's the leading candidate for the award. And, you know, this has been a coming out party of sorts for Hunter Berg because the entire state has heard about Hunter Berg for the last 4.5 years, but not many people outside of the northwestern part of the state have seen Hunter Berg. And I think they saw yesterday and have a great appreciation for what this guy can do on the basketball court.
Well, we'll catch up on more on Hunter Berg. First of all, we're going to take this break. We'll be right back with Grenora versus Halliday right after this short timeout. Today is our first game. Our second game tonight should be a great one. Mayport Clifford Galesburg against Carrington. That's the other semifinal. Earlier today, Litchfield Marion Montpelier comes back and wins a game over Rhame, 76-73. And in the other game today, Oaks was a winner over Munich, 78-69.
Rory, if you don't think reaching the semifinals of the State B is a big deal, consider this. 4 teams, as of right now, still have a shot at winning the state championship out of 200. Just a few weeks ago at the beginning of district tournament play, and the 4 survivors play tonight.
The Final Four of North Dakota. It's Grenora in the white. Halliday will be in your black as well as orange. And we are underway in this first game of the semifinal game at the Minot State Dome. Halliday with the ball.
Well, one of the interesting defensive matchups we'll keep our eyes on tonight is how Grenora tries to defend Doug Swenson, and Norby gets the initial responsibility on him. Norby at 6'2", Swenson at 6'8".
Definitely an interesting battle that's going to brew inside the paint, no doubt about it, Dan. Inside, Swenson, 15 feet out, nice touch, rolls off the rim, no good. Here comes Grenora. Led by Hunter Berg. Hunter Berg will wear number 24 tonight. Watch for that 24 to be streaking left, streaking right. He'll be all over. He's a flashy, flashy player.
1-2-2 zone. Some like to call it a jug zone for Halliday. That's the way they'll start out defensively against Grenora.
Nice shot outside, and that's a three-pointer for Grenora, and that is John Norby. John Norby knocks down the three-pointer to give Grenora a 3-0 lead. John Norby really stepped it up last night.
Some early full court pressure. That's no surprise either by Grenora. They think they can really do some damage against the Halliday guard.
Chris Blossom inside the paint, goes glass, and he's got 2 in the book. And it's a 1-point game. There is Hunter Berg for 3, and you can put that one in the book. Hunter Berg steps up calmly and rolls down the 3. Here comes Jeremy Nodlin on the drive. He's going to take it right to the hoop, and that's going to be a walk on Jeremy Nodlin.
3-pointers, you think Grenora likes 3-pointers. You know, coming into this tournament, they had attempted 540 3-pointers. They attempted a bushel full yesterday in their first 2. Tonight, 3s. Wow, what a surprise.
Grenora swings it right. They get it back up top to Hunter Berg.
You know, one thing we haven't touched on is Kelly Gunlickson sprained ankle last night of the game. There he is. He's got a big wrap on his ankle and an ankle brace. And his movement, particularly in the defensive end tonight, we'll keep an eye on because that could be real key. I don't think he'll see nearly as many minutes as Gene Anderson would hope for.
Gunlickson, like you said, Dan, is certainly a quick player, and that will definitely hurt his mobility. Grenora stepping it up a little bit, and there's Hunter Berg. I thought that might have been a jump ball, but it's not. Here comes Nodland for Halliday, and he dumps it off, and that is Luke Morris. His shot's no good. Grenora brings it down, and here comes Grenora.
Did you notice the last 2 times down the court, though, Halliday never really got into its half-court offense and work it around as much they would like to in this game, or as they did yesterday. And I know this trip down the court, Dave Steckler wants his team to work the offense a little bit. Be patient, look for a good shot.
And we saw a little bit of that yesterday, a little bit of that patience.
Well, they were very patient. They executed their game plan to perfection yesterday.
A little bit of Swenson's dribbling ability, and tries to go inside. It's going to be knocked out of bounds by Grenora. So Halliday will have the ball underneath their hoop, and Grenora leads this game 6-4 with 5:10 to go in the first quarter of this semifinal game. Morris inside the paint to Nodland. Nodland turns around, no good off the iron. Swings it up to Gunlickson. Gunlickson running the court fairly well. Grenora inside, errant pass, and Halliday takes advantage.
There's a lot of pressure on these 2 guards tonight, Luke Morris and Bo Nodland. Nodland's just a freshman, but they have to play well tonight for Halliday to have any chance.
Well, a lot of people talked about the guard play, Dan, and you're right. It's probably going to come down to that type of situation. Grenora back on top to Gunlickson. Gunlickson over to John Norby. His shot's no good, and here comes Halliday.
Halliday would prefer that Grenora sat outside that zone and shot 3-pointers all night. That's how they want them to beat them.
Right, and I'm surprised that Grenora is not running as much as they have in the past. There's Swenson swinging it back outside. No look pass, almost goes out of bounds. And here's Swenson again from 15 feet out. Swings it back to Luke Morris. Luke Morris inside the paint to Swenson. Turnaround jumper. Swenson had a great game yesterday. 23 points, 21 rebounds, a handful of block shots, and a win over Rain.
That was quite a game. I tell you, I think they renamed part of the paint area here in the dome Swenson County after that effort yesterday. As you said, 23 points, 21 rebounds, 8 blocks, and 6 assists for the kid right there that converts early.
Full court press by Grenora. Halliday trying to break it. In fact, they're just going to take their time, and they're not going to go deep and try not to get into a running game with Grenora, because that would spell trouble, no doubt about it.
Well, that would play right into the hands of Grenora, and Halliday has to be smart in trying to break that pressure that they'll see tonight.
Inside to Nodland. Nodland fakes, goes glass, no good. Nice tip in there by Swenson. Doug Swenson gives Halliday a tie with Grenora. We are tied at 6-all, 3:09 to go in this first quarter of the State B semifinal game. Grenora outside to Berg. Berg swings it over to Jesse Madsen. His shot off the iron. Big rebound by Swenson.
Well, you know, Norby had a real good shot 4 or 5 feet out from the baseline, but Swenson was standing in front of him, and I think that's why Norby decided to kick it back out to the perimeter.
Inside to Swenson. Nice touch inside the paint for Swenson.
Well, Halliday is getting some real good looks at the basket here in the first quarter. And that's got to be an early concern for Gene Anderson.
There's a nice shot again by Jesse Madsen. And that's good, and that's a 3-pointer.
Boy, are the 2 game plans clearly illustrating each other to this point. The 3-pointers by Grenora, the inside game of Halliday.
Halliday, as we said, very patient on the offensive end. There's Gunlickson trying to get the steal, and Chris Wasson's shot's no good, and it's batted around inside the lane, and here comes Grenora. Berg over to Jesse Madsen. His shot's no good again, and that's going to be a foul inside the paint. I believe that's on Dan Berg. And that's a timeout. Grenora leads it by 1, 9-8, 1:56 to go in this first quarter. You're watching the Winston is the big man in the paint. He stands 6'8". He's a senior, and he's going to muscle in the paint there, and he gets a nice touch inside the paint.
Well, he has 6 of the 8 points for Halliday early in the ball game.
Oh, breaking the press, Halliday coming inside, and Luke Morris scores 2 for Halliday. There's a good shot of Steckler.
Again, the 1-2-2 with Luke Morris, the defensive responsibilities out on top.
Boy, they're really giving Jesse Madsen a shot at the rim, and why not let him shoot? He just hasn't converted.
Well, at the other end of the court, look how Hunter Berg is laying off Bo Nodlin. He's not giving him any kind of respect at all. Berg is playing in the middle of the paint, and Bo Nodlin at times has been wide open all night, but they don't think he can score.
Well, he just scored there from 15 feet out. Jeremy Nodlin scores 2, the 6'4" junior. Hunter Berg for 3. Count it. Grenora fans go crazy when Hunter Berg touches the ball, and that's how he'll hurt you. Full court press. Look at these guys. They are really full court pressing, but Halliday breaks it, and that's Jeremy Nodlin breaking through the defense. Grenora, Halliday tied at 12 all. Less than 50 seconds to go in this first quarter. Swenson out on top. Swings it over to Luke Morris for 2. In and out. Thought he had it. Missed it. Hunter Berg brings down the Grenora offense. He's going to stop and pop for 3, and that's no good off the back iron. Hunter Berg back on top. Gunlickson. Way off in the far corner was Norby, and his shot's no good, and that's going to be a foul. Jump ball. A jump ball. Good hustle play by both teams.
Grenora will retain possession with the possession arrow pointing its way.
Grenora more than likely will play for a last shot. They go to their outlet man, and that's Gunlickson. Gunlickson, less than 8 seconds to go. Hunter Berg, that's the man you want to have in the paint. Look at him just, he drills a 3. Beautiful play. Beautiful play by Hunter Berg. And as the quarter comes to a close, Hunter Berg has given Grenora a 3-point lead. We are 1 quarter complete in this first semifinal game of the State B. You're watching the State B on NBC.
Very upset that his team is not forcing a hand in the face of Hunter Berg. They were really uptight about the fact that he got off that 3-pointer to end the quarter. When they settled down, they just discussed the play to get the ball inside to who else? Doug Swenson.
And that's a good point, because Berg stood there for 5 seconds and was totally uncontested. I'm sure Halliday knew he was going to take the last shot of the quarter.
Grenora leads it by 3. They have 15 points. All 15 points compliments of the 3-point play.
And 14, or 12 rather, 8 of Halliday's 14s compliments of the guy who just hit the last shot.
Big Doug Swenson in the middle for Halliday. Halliday spreads it out with a big 2-3 zone. Oh, a nice block in there by Jeremy Nodlin. That shows Nodlin's ability. Nodlin can get up with the best of them. He's only a junior. I think we mentioned that before, but he's really truly an athlete. He'll be the leader of this team next year, but why talk next year? Let's talk this year. Grenora spreads it out. Hunter Berg at the top of the key, setting up the offense. Over to Gunlickson. Berg, nice passing. Gunlickson goes inside the lane. Nice pass inside, and that's Dan Berg. Nice shot in there.
Well, set up nicely by Kelly Gunlickson, and these 5 guys have been playing together pretty much since 4th grade, so they read each other very well.
Good dribbling ability there by Swin. Is Chris Wassam. Chris Wassam picking up the garbage, putting it down for 2. Wassam gives Grenora or gives Halliday 16 points. Grenora has 17. It's 17-16, Grenora.
Still the 1-2-2 zone, and that's what Halliday has played since the beginning of this game.
Gunlingston steps up for three, third ankle and all. That's something that probably Gunlingston needs just to kind of get his motivation going. And it looks like he's not doing too bad out there because of his ankle, and he takes a tumble there. Hopefully that didn't hurt his ankle. He gets back up running. He's okay.
Gunlingston spent most of the day here at the Dome with therapy. He had ice and also some other types of therapy that would loosen up that ankle. And it's okay, and he's playing on it, but when he sits down and rests, that's when it stiffens up. So if he gets a break tonight, he probably won't sit down. He'll just walk around behind the Grenora bench.
An errant pass by Halliday goes Grenora's way, and that's Grenora's Jesse Madsen, and that's good for three.
Can you believe the three-pointers that are going on here?
Well, that's something you mentioned before we even started this game, Dan. A lot of three-pointers, and they have 7 three-pointers, and Grenora leads it 23-16. You're watching the State B on NBC. Left leg or left ankle of Kelly Gunlingston, a 5'10" senior for Grenora. He averages 14 points a game. He hurt this ankle yesterday. We talked about it briefly. He's been getting treatments all day, and hopefully he'll be okay, and apparently he is. I mean, he's a quarter into the game, and he's doing just fine, thank you very much. He already has a three-pointer, so he's getting into the flow of the game anyway. Good hustle in there by Grenora. It pays off with a nice steal, but they throw the ball away, and that's not good basketball. Grenora leads at 23-16, 5:16 to go in this second quarter of this semifinal game. Nice steal in there by Berg. Berg's going to take it to the hole all by himself, splitting the... That's going to be fouled in there by Eric Sveet. Not Eric Sveet, Bo Nodland. Check that.
We saw Hunter Berg a couple of times yesterday absolutely spin his defenders around. This time, Bo Nodland didn't do that, but he still committed the foul.
And while we were in that, that was Gunlingston. And I think that ankle is treating him just fine. It's another three-pointer for Grenora. Three-pointers have been flying left and right for Grenora. Halliday tries to set it up. Steps in there. That's Morris. His shot is good. Well, Halliday is making Grenora shoot outside. Hunter Berg shoots the three off the iron. Nice big rebound in there.
You have to wonder how long Dave Steckler is going to be happy to stick with that 1-2-2. I mean, his defense has already been riddled for a series of three-pointers. So far, he's sticking with it.
I think in a way you almost have to stick with it, because if you don't, you got Hunter Berg in there. He's going to penetrate. He's going to get people on him. He's going to dish the ball, and they're going to get even an easier bucket inside the paint. Grenora still patient. Down by 8. Oh, a good steal, and he's out of bounds. Good steal by Jesse Madsen, but he was out of bounds at the time. Halliday, Jeremy Nodland, over to Bo Nodland. Foul on the play.
Now they're getting Doug Swenson for over the back. He tried to go in for the tip in and got a little body on the man who had possession and picks up his first personal foul.
He's saying, how did I do that? He doesn't know how he got that foul.
He's much more emotional this year than he was a year ago, and I think that comes with being a senior and being a leader on the basketball team.
Grenora really passing the ball around nicely. Gunlingston goes baseline. There's Gunlingston for another three. Three-pointers. No, that's a 2. Is that a 3 or a 2? 3.
9 three-pointers in the game for Grenora in the first half. Unbelievable.
Absolutely incredible. Nodland throws up the ball. No good. Not a good shot selection. Tried to force it a little bit. And Grenora comes right back, and they're going to try to step up and probably work it around the perimeter. Gunlickson again, and he has found the range, but he falls a little bit long on that one. Gunlickson over to Hunter Berg. Berg back to Gunlickson. Gunlickson over to Norby, and his shot's no good. And here comes Halliday.
I don't even think they've attempted very many two-point field goals. You know, you look at that first quarter, all they attempted were three-pointers, 5 of 13. They haven't attempted very many, if any, two-point field goals here in the second quarter.
I don't think they're not trying to get it inside. You can tell that straight away.
This is a very
got kind of Hunter Berg for three, and that's good, and he's fouled. Hunter Berg will go for the elusive 4-point play.
And there you see what Dave Steckler's thinking at this point. Will we see a change defensively, because they have been riddled for 10 3-pointers. 4 by Hunter Berg.
You know, Dave Steckler, when we talked to him today, Dan, you know, here's a first-year head coach. He's got so many things going through his mind, and you know, you try to go with what you think is going to be your bread and butter, that being, you know, a zone defense, and you think it's going to pay off, and right now it hasn't not paid off. Grenora leads at 33-18. We'll be right back at the State B. Teams have gone through this Class B basketball tournament, and they've gone through the tournament undefeated. This, you're looking at the only undefeated team in the tournament. That's the Grenora Gophers, and that's the head coach of the Grenora Gophers, Gene Anderson. They currently are undefeated at 26-0, and they are one game away from a championship appearance at the State B. They are playing Halliday in this first semifinal game. Grenora leads at 33-18, 33 points. A lot of three-pointers in those 33 points as well. In fact, 10 three-pointers in this first half alone. Jeremy Nodlin for Halliday. Sideline jumper, no good. Grenora control.
Well, Halliday just can't afford to miss those type of shots. I mean, those are good looks at the basket, shots that they have to put down. Change defensively this time down the court. As you can see by Halliday, they've gone out of that jug matchup zone, 1-2-2.
They do have somewhat of a man-to-man, but you can tell that Swenson is not really guarding Dan Berg that heavily, so he'll be definitely helping out on the defensive end. Gunlickson stops up and hits the sideline jumper. No good. Nice hustle in there, and it's going to go back to the Grenora. Hunter Berg from three-point range, mesmerizing his defensive opponent. Goes off to the side. That's Steven Sveet. Sveet had a nice game yesterday. There's Gunlickson.
Hunter Berg is excited to see Halliday in a man-to-man because he knows he's going to get a lot of chances to penetrate and make things happen in that style of his game. We've seen him hit the three, but we'll see him penetrate a lot more now.
Kelly Gunlickson for 2 more points. The 5'10 senior steps up and hits the 15-footer. Jeremy Nodlin, nice steal in there by Hunter Berg. And Gunlickson controls. 35-18, less than 30 seconds to go in this first half of the State B semifinal game between Grenora and Halliday.
Grenora outscoring Halliday 20-6 here in the second quarter.
Well, this ought to be pretty exciting. After the first quarter, of course, Hunter Berg hit a three-pointer to put Halliday up, or Grenora up by 3.
Luke Morris has the defensive assignment on Hunter Berg.
Hunter Berg for 3, no good, nothing but air. An air ball for Hunter Berg, and I bet that might be his first of the year.
I can't imagine he shot too many of those.
I can't see that either. Halliday comes up with the last-second buzzer beater, no good off the glass. We are at the half here between Grenora and Halliday of the semifinal game of the State B Boys Basketball Tournament. Grenora leads it 35-18. Grenora 35 points. They have 10 three-pointers in this first half alone. Absolutely incredible. Let's head to John Cole. John?
Gene, did you put up a 3 before the kids came out to play today?
We knew they were going to play a 12 defense, 1-2-2 zone, and we're good. You know, we've got good passers. We're penetrating, kicking, and you know, thanks to sports medicine, that tape job has gotten Kelly's shooting touch back.
And a pretty good job on Swenson, too.
We're trying to extend the floor. We haven't got many turnovers off the thing, but I think what's happening is, we're trying to wear him out. And, we got 6 guys trying to wear out one big guy. And, so far it's working.
All right, thank you for the visit. Don't get run over here by the gymnastics people.
Thanks, John.
All right.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Oh, by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. All right, we'll be back with more from the State B right after this short timeout. Shooting right around the 40s and everything, but I'll tell you what, the difference here is Grenora is shooting 46%, and most of those are from three-point range, Dan.
Well, all of their field goals, with the exception of one in the first half, are three-pointers. That's absolutely unbelievable to think. In the first quarter, they were 5 of 13, all threes. In the second quarter, they actually got better, 7 of 13, all but one of those three-pointers. If you shoot 46% from the three-point line, you're not going to lose.
Well, you know what's so funny about that? Only Dan Berg is the only one who hasn't hit a three-pointer. Free throws not much of a factor in this game. 15 rebounds for Grenora. Halliday only 11. In fact, Swenson had 23 of those yesterday. He only has 3 to this point. Checking out the scoring. Hunter Berg leads away, 13 points for Grenora. Kelly Gunlingson, hurt ankle and all. Hey, 11 points. That's a great effort by Kelly Gunlingson. Halliday is led by Doug Swenson. He has 8 points. We got to mention here that Hunter Berg yesterday, we already did mention rather that he had 25 in yesterday's win. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double.
45 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists yesterday.
So there's your stats for the halftime. And we will be back with more on the State B.
Let's go to Brett Garland.
Much, Dave Steckler. I knew they had a great three-point shooting team, but did you think they'd hit 10 three-pointers in that first half like that?
No, I didn't. I guess basically, I on their penetration, so they're so quick, and I just felt, we can't man them. We came out 1-2-2, and I'll tell you what, they answered to it.
Do you came out in the man-to-man there late in that second half. I'm assuming you have to definitely go back to that now and start the second.
Yeah, we got to play man. We got to play the game we didn't want to play. But like I told the kids, hey, we're not going to quit. We're going to cut it to 9, 10 to 3, and we're going to come back, stay close, and hopefully win it at the end.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it a lot. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Brett. Second half highlights between Grenora and Halliday right after this. North Dakota State B Boys Basketball Tournament on the Meyer Television Network. We have some Grenora fans there, and they got to be very, very excited. Leading 35-18 after 16 minutes of play. Man, oh man, Dan, we were just talking about those three-pointers. I don't think I've ever seen a game where three-pointers have been this much of a factor this early in the game.
No, I don't think I can remember a half where a team has scored all but 5, or actually all but 3 of its points through three-pointers.
The worst part about Halliday's day right now is Grenora gets the ball back to start the second half. Gunlingson, left side. John Norby's shot's no good, and Halliday recovers. Grenora starting with a full court press, trying to put the pressure on them right away.
We shortchanged Grenora one 2-point field goal. Oh. They did hit 2 in that first half.
Good rebound. Oh, I'm sorry.
They're not as 3-point field goal oriented as we thought.
Berg, no look pass off to the left side. Inside, back outside. There's that leadership right there. Let's just set this one up. I think I'll take it in. I'm going to dish it off. And that's part of that offense right there. I'm just going to bring it inside the paint. I'm going to get about 3 guys on me. I'm going to dish it off to you, and I'll give you about a 2-foot jumper. Hunter Berg taking the ball out of bounds for Grenora. Inside, back out to Berg. Gunlingson for 3. No good. No, he didn't shoot it, but he passes it off to Jesse Madsen. His shot's no good. Jeremy Nodland with the rebound. Halliday right in the middle to Swenson from 15 feet out. Good touch shot by Doug Swenson.
Well, you know that Halliday doesn't want to turn this into an up-tempo game, and yet they still have a 15-point deficit, so they have to convert nearly every time down the court. The goal, as Dave Steckler said, get that deficit down to a manageable one, which would be right around 9 points by the end of this quarter.
Back inside to Swinson. This one's from 14 feet. Ball short. Grenora grabs the ball. Hunter Berg brings it up. Hunter Berg fakes right, goes right into the lane, and dishes it off to the middle, and passes to the open area and just about tossed it out of bounds. In fact, he did toss it out of bounds.
That's one of the few times that you'll see maybe Hunter Berg force something that really wasn't there. Found himself in the middle of the lane and just, passed it ahead, but there really was no one there.
Grenora up with some big defense here. Swinson with the nice pass inside. That's going to be a charge on Doug Swinson. Big Doug Swinson tried with the pass, tried to penetrate a little bit, get it off inside.
Dan Berg had clearly established position here. Swinson, as you see, trying to set up a teammate underneath Chris Wassam, but there's no doubt about that one.
Grenora up by 15, 35-20, 5:49 to go, third quarter of this semifinal game. Hunter Berg. They're probably going to end up shooting a couple more threes, or at least more perimeter shooting. There's Gunlickson back in getting some more baskets there, and good hustle by Grenora, but going to go back out of bounds, and Halliday will get the ball. Checking in for the Halliday lineup is Chris Geetson. Geetson's in the lineup, but we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. It's 37-20. Grenora's way.
Stop. Putting a hammer to the three-pointers tonight, haven't they?
Well, they sure have. Grenora on a roll, 37-20. They lead Halliday. Halliday still a controlling offense. Luke Morris for three, no good. Big rebound by Swinson. That's going to be a foul on Swinson. He was kind of over the back of Danberg. Swinson called for the foul.
I don't know if Swinson so much picked up the foul because he was over the back or because he was trying to position himself. I didn't see a lot of contact there in terms of over the back, but he may have pushed off a little bit to try to get position on the offensive board.
Well, he definitely didn't have position, but he was trying to sneak in there. Hunter Berg. Big quick move down the baseline, which is off to Danberg, and Danberg goes glass, and there's two more for Grenora. Grenora staying with a tight defense. Halliday breaks it, gets it across half court. Swinson swings it left. Back to Swinson from about 17 feet out, and a good, nice touch shot by Doug Swinson. Swinson makes the foul. He comes back and hits the nice 17-footer.
Well, he certainly has that range. Last year, he played on the perimeter for Halliday, attempted 70 three-pointers. This year, much different. Basically inside player in the low blocks, and he only attempted 17 three-pointers this year.
Nice steal in there by Luke Morris. Morris gets it up top. A foul in there for Grenora.
Actually, it was just batted out of bounds.
Batted out of bounds. Bo Nodlin was on the break there. Three-pointer. Good for Luke Morris. That is what Halliday will need, and that's what they will need quite a few of to get back in this game. They're crawling back slowly but surely, 39-25. Hunter Berg being hounded at the top of the key. That's Jesse Madsen. Shot's no good. Big rebound by Swinson. Grenora fading back on their defense now, not doing as much pressure. An errant pass by Luke Morris, but it goes into the hands of Nodlin, and his shot's no good, and he's going to get fouled on the play. Well, you know, you got a big guy in there like Swinson. You just want to toss the ball inside, and he can probably out-leap anybody, and maybe if he can't out-leap them, he will probably reach up and grab the ball. There's an errant pass right there, but it just happens to fall right into Nodlin's hands, and Nodlin smartly takes it to the rack. Nodlin makes good for his first free throw. 39-26, Grenora. 27 in favor of Grenora. We'll be right back on your North Dakota NBC station.
From the baby can at the State B. Hey, 39-27. Dave Steckler said he wanted it down to 9 by the end of the third quarter. They've done a good job. They've cut it from 18 to 12 in the opening 4.5 minutes of the third quarter.
And, you know, and it's not, they've been down and they've been taking their time and working it inside. But when you got Dan Berg inside the paint for Grenora, that's going to be hard to do. And Grenora comes right back with her full court press. But Halliday breaks it. Luke Morris at midcourt. Off to the side, Jeremy Nodlin. Back up top to Bo Nodlin. Morris. Nodlin. Morris. Good quick passing. Jeremy Nodlin for 2. No good. Nice rebound. Good rebound and a foul. Swinson in for 2 plus the foul. Hopefully a three-point play for Doug Swinson.
Hey, here's what a 6'8" kid can do. It's a much smaller lineup. He misses his first attempt, just stays with it, and look at that. I mean, there's nobody near his hands to deny his tip-in for the basket. A possible three-point play that could get them within 11.
Doug Swinson, he is key for Grenora, and if they want to win this game, he will really have to step it up and really have to hustle quite a bit in this semifinal game of the State B. 2:38 to go in this third quarter, 41-29 Grenora. Gunlingson drives in the paint, jumps up, no good, rebound Swinson. Gunlingson showing no ill effects of that left ankle turn. I'm sure Gene Anderson is very happy about that. Halliday, good passing. Inside to Swinson. Swinson turnaround jumper. Oh, no good.
I don't know how that didn't go in. That was halfway down the hole and it rimmed back out.
Hunter Berg takes a nice quick move inside the paint, and that's going to go in there, no doubt about it. That's just God-given ability right there by Hunter Berg, and it certainly doesn't hurt if you start, what was it, Dan, 3 games into his 8th grade year?
That's right.
He's been a starter since his 8th grade year, and that shows his mentality and his...
Well, that was just plain old quickness there, that drive. I mean, regardless if he's been starting just for a year or 3 or 4, I mean, his quickness is his major asset when he's in the open court. You just can't put a man on him, man to man, and try to expect to contain him. Check out his first step. He just absolutely blows by Lonnie Jacobson. And I've talked to a lot of coaches since yesterday's opening round, and they can't think of anybody really in this tournament, to be frank with you, that could cover Hunter Berg one-on-one effectively.
You know, just by watching that replay, Swinson was standing flat on his feet. He needs to kind of get more motivated on the defensive end. I mean, here's a guy who's kind of coming right into the paint, and Swinson's not taking control.
Well, Doug Swinson is playing with 3 fouls, too, so he really can't afford to be as aggressive as he might.
43-30, 13-point lead for Grenora. Grenora with the ball. Hunter Berg, top of the key, look out, he's dangerous. Left side, swings it inside, 14-footer, one-hander, no good. Nice rebound in there by John Norby, and that's a, what was that, a walk?
Double dribble.
Double dribble. Grenora stays with the press. Give it to Nodlin at midcourt. Over to Morris. Morris penetrating inside the paint. Dishes it off to Swinson. Swinson goes baseline. Off to Nodlin. No good. Grenora retains. Grenora retains, and that's Hunter Berg with the drive. And oh, is that a charge? That's not going to be a charge. That's going to be a foul. Big foul in there by Chris Geetson. Hunter Berg just taking it straight to the hoop, and he's just going to go there as fast as he can, and he gets basically tackled in there.
And 2 points for Nodlin. Well, see, Swinson knew he had 3 fouls, and he tried to back off. You saw him on most cases like that. Doug Swenson would try to go up and swat that thing away. He had 8 blocks yesterday. He knew he was playing with 3. He tried to back off a little bit, but he still got part of his body, and he's saddled with his 4th foul in the 3rd period, and that's another bit of unnerving news if you're a Halliday fan.
He's saying, I just put my hands up. I tried to back away. I still got called with the foul. He has 4, as Dan said. John Norby, 18 points, 10 rebounds in yesterday's first-round game against Litchfield Marion Montpelier. Hey, the real spark plug in yesterday's game as well. And he converts on the 3-point play to give Grenora a 16-point lead less than 50 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. Halliday brings it across court. Luke Morris. I want to see, okay, they are going to play for the last shot, but Morris penetrates in the lane, and he's going to stop and shoot it, and that's off the iron. Back up. No good. Jump ball. Possession arrow will go to Halliday. Into the lineup for Grenora is Dan Berg. He'll go in for Gunlickson. Gunlickson gets a nice round of applause from the Grenora crowd. Nice shot in there by Halliday's Chris Geetson. And Geetson is a spark plug off the bench for Halliday. Hunter Berg dribbles right. Hunter Berg penetrates. He's going to take the shot up, and that's good.
Just great body control by Hunter Berg to avoid taking the foul and converting on the bucket.
Well, Hunter Berg hit a little 3-pointer there at the end of the 1st quarter, drove into 3rd quarter, and Grenora leads at 48-32. Great body control by Hunter Berg. You're watching the State B on your Meyer Television Network.
Keep on throwing up the threes. Grenora will not slow the ball down, guys. They're going to keep it going.
All right, thanks a lot, John Cole, talking about Grenora. He was on the sideline with the Grenora bench and Gene Anderson, and Gene Anderson has to be very pleased to have this man running the offense for him. Swenson has checked back into the lineup for the Halliday Wolverines. He has 4 fouls, so he will definitely not be aggressive in there. Nice defensive play by Halliday.
Halliday's hand is pretty much forced in that issue, though. When you start the final 8 minutes down by 16, you have to have your best 5 on the court, and Swenson's one of them.
Swenson for 3? No, check that 2-pointer for Swenson. Or was that 3? I'm sorry. Golly, Roar. Get it together, huh? All right, 3-pointer for Swenson. You know, that might be something that maybe Halliday is thinking about. Let's move Swenson out on outside. Let's let him shoot that 3-pointer. He did it all last season as a junior. And maybe he can contribute on the offensive end and 3-pointer. Dan Berg has kind of slowly but surely stepped it up a little bit here in this latter part of the game.
Well, Berg's going to get some good looks underneath because, again, with Swenson saddled with 4 fouls, I mean, he can't do anything. He can stay in there and watch and hope that Berg's shot or whomever's shot in the paint won't fall. He can't contest it.
Swenson for 3 more on the other side, off the front of the iron, and Grenora comes back. Grenora leads it by 15, 6:37 to go in this 4th quarter. Hunter Berg in the paint, dishes it off.
You know, Halliday got this thing down to a 12-point deficit at one time, 41-29, actually had the ball to get it down to a 10-point possession, failed to convert, and then Grenora built it back up to 16.
Chris Geetson, there's a momentum booster. Chris Geetson gets 2 plus the foul. Chris Geetson, 6.1 points per game, 3 rebounds a game. Sees most of the minutes off the bench for Halliday. Hit in double figures in 2 regional games, so he's no stranger to stepping it up a little bit. And the 3-point play is complete. 38-50, and we got a game almost, Dan. You mentioned that there was a 12-point deficit. Well, right now we have a 12-point deficit.
Stops in the defensive end is what Halliday needs right now more than anything, because trading buckets over the final 6 minutes just isn't going to do it.
If you're Grenora, Dan, do you take it straight in there and try to get Swinson out of the game?
I think they'll take their looks there, but when you have people like Kelly Gunlickson and Hunter Berg and other people who can score as well from pretty much anywhere on the court, you'll take your best shot possible.
Bo Nodland inside to Swinson, and there's a nice, pretty sky hook a la Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 40-52, Grenora. Three-pointer. Norby's shot falls no good, but Grenora picks up the rebound. There's Norby. He's standing all alone. They may just give him that shot. Gunlickson, 17-foot. Nothing but net. Gene Anderson happy about that. Full court press by Grenora.
17 in the game for Gunlickson, has scoring honors along with Hunter Berg, who also has 17.
Morris, Nodland. Morris for three. No good. Swinson with a big rebound. Swinson goes inside Nodland. That's going to be a foul on Gunlickson. Gunlickson over the back of Jeremy Nodland. Nodland will head to the line.
You take a look at Kelly Gunlickson, and there are many people who believe if Hunter Berg wasn't on this team and will likely be an All-Stater, that this guy would be an All-Stater. And certainly he has had the numbers throughout the year to back up that argument.
We have a timeout. We'll take one as well. It's 54-40 in favor of Grenora. You're watching the State B.
Kelly Gunlickson over 3 seasons has scored over 1,000 points. He's been an all-conference player, an all-district player, so you bet he would be the star in this club if they didn't have someone named Hunter Berg. So good point, Mr. Hammer.
Well, I think, too, John, that he's really the core leader of this basketball team. Berg's the big star, but Gunlickson's the leader.
He is the leader. That's absolutely right. He was the leader on a football team that made it all the way to the semifinals and lost to the eventual state champion. So he is the leader on this club.
Dave Steckler, as you can see, knowing that every possession is so critical, saying that a couple times down the court now where we haven't even got to look at the basket. You know, the thing that Halliday faces here is they are not a great three-point shooting team. They are very much a perimeter team. Their guards don't score much, and when you're down by 14 in the final 4 minutes, you think sooner or later you have to have some threes.
Yeah, definitely forced to shoot the outside jumper, and they have not done that this year.
You know, Hunter Berg in a situation like this is almost like having an insurance policy, because the way he takes care of the basketball, it's going to be very difficult for any team to force Grenora into a lot of turnovers. And they played such fundamentally sound basketball going back to the regional tournament. In fact, they only turned it over a handful of times in 3 games during the regional tournament.
You know, something that I talked to Grenora's head coach about is Gene Anderson is, you know, they've been through the whole season without a loss. Now, I asked him, how does that factor in as far as, you know, the mental picture? Some teams, you know, they may have one loss. Hey, they say it was good for them. It was good to pick up a loss. They brought them down to reality. You know, they're going into this tournament taking it one game at a time, and they're staying very mentally focused. And Hunter Berg, there's a good reason why Grenora is undefeated. Timeout by Halliday to stop the flow from Grenora. Grenora leads it by 16 with 3:06 to go. You're watching the State B.
Now there are...
And Bayport CG number 2, at least in the last poll.
Inside to Swinson. Swinson gets it knocked away. Halliday's ball. Grenora's Dan Berg checks into the lineup for Stephen Sleep. Halliday forced to shoot the ball outside. There's a long three-pointer that does not drop by Luke Morris, and Grenora picks it up, and Gunlickson comes up limping.
Yeah, he must have twisted that ankle, retwisted the ankle, because he's really hobbling down the court, and the next possible break, Gene Anderson will get him out of the game. extremely difficult for him to move. Grenora called timeout to get him on the sidelines.
You know, what a gutsy player, though. Really came back strong, and you know, you hate to see someone hurt, and you hate to see him go down this late in the game with them being up by 16 as well.
Well, I watched him in warm-ups tonight. He just couldn't move that ankle sideways very much. A, because I'm sure the thing is still very sore. B, because he has a big brace on and a lot of wrap, and he just couldn't move it from one side to the other very much. But my goodness, 17 points in the game.
Right here, Bo, and Luke, Jeremy, and Chris, all right? Swing it through. Look for, I want the ball right here. Look for a skip pass. If it's not there, if you get the ball, you reverse the ball, look for a skip pass down the opposite block. You understand? There. Score. Score.
Dave Steckler in his first year with the Halliday Wolverines. There's a good shot at Gunlickson. Grenora has the ball, 56-40, 2:28 to go in this fourth quarter. Foul by Halliday. That's Bo Nodlin with the foul.
If you didn't catch the first quarter and second quarter of this game, folks, you missed one of the great three-point exhibitions you'll see in high school basketball. In the first half, Grenora hit 10 three-point field goals.
Grenora, very patient. They have been all game long. They've looked for the open shot. They've taken the open shot.
You know, you look at the different ways that people have tried to defend Grenora this year. Sawyer played him in a straight man-to-man, said basically, Hunter Berg, go get your points. We'll try to win by letting you have yours and protect the others. Well, Berg went out and scored 58. That was in the regional semifinals. Tonight, Dave Steckler comes out to what I think most people thought was a good game plan, the 1-2-2. And make Grenora beat you with the three. Again, they show that they can do that. Not only Hunter Berg, but Gunlickson and Madsen hit the three, and Norby. This team is very in tune to hitting the three-point field goal.
You know, how many times are you going to run into a game, and especially of this magnitude of a semifinal game, and you're forcing them to shoot outside, and they contribute and shoot outside and make those outside shots? Shows the maturity of Grenora.
Shows that they're darn good shooters from outside that line. 540 attempts coming into the game.
A lot of practice prior to the game anyway.
You know, there are a couple junctures of this basketball game I think that we can reflect back on. And one was Grenora was up 41-29. Halliday had possession. Could have got the deficit down to 10. Couldn't convert. Then they got within 12 again at 50-38. But at both of those junctures, Grenora built its lead back up to 16. And that's where it sits now.
Well, Halliday forced a foul, and probably not a good guy to foul is Hunter Berg.
That may be an understatement. My goodness, this guy shoots free throws as well as anybody around. 86% from the free throw line is Hunter Berg.
Kirby Anderson checks into the lineup for Grenora, as well as Eric Sveet. And here comes another. It's Lonnie Jacobson. Less than a minute to go, 58.9 seconds in the fourth quarter of this first semifinal game. Hunter Berg's first free throw is nothing but net. More than likely, barring any wild miracle, Grenora will head into the championship game of the State B. They'll play the winner of that Carrington-Mayport-Clifford-Galesburg game. Benji Pocus is in the lineup now for Grenora. So a whole new lineup for Grenora. A lot of guys getting a chance to play here for Grenora. Halliday, Jeremy Nodlin goes baseline, stops, nice soft touch, good for Jeremy Nodlin. Nodlin's had a nice tournament. Grenora, and that's going to be a foul on Bo Nodlin.
Grenora did a good job tonight of taking away Chris Wasem and Jeremy Nodlin. Doug Swenson's had a good game. He has 19 in the game, but Wasem only has 4. Nodland with just 6. Now, yesterday, if you go back to that game, those 3 combined for 56 of Halliday's 64. So Grenora tonight took away Wassum, took away Nodland, and at the same time said, look, Luke Morris and Bo Nodland, we're really not going to respect you that much. If there's going to be one guy that's going to beat us, it's going to be Doug Swenson.
Very, very good point, Dan, because I mean, those 3 definitely were the key in yesterday's game with their win over Rame in the first round of this tournament. Inside the paint, there's Nodland again. He's going to get fouled by Grenora's Eric Sveet, I believe. Jeremy Nodland. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 three-pointers in the win over Rame yesterday. He shoots 58% from the field, and there's a dejected Halliday bench. They can't be too dejected, just for the fact that they're in the semifinal game of the state tournament.
Well, let's keep in mind, this is a team that graduated 8 seniors from a year ago, did Halliday. Now, you think in your wildest dreams, if you're coming back to play for Halliday, you think you're going to be playing in the semifinals of the State B or at the State B, playing on statewide television? No way. But they did put it together with a lot of new starters and a change in style. And I think you have to give a little credit to Halliday, too, for making a run at the end of the season to get here.
Nice tip by Sveet, Eric Sveet. Swinson with a long three-pointer. That one's no good. Nodland throws the ball up out of bounds with 0.8 seconds to go in this semifinal game. Well, you can basically put a fork in this one because it's done, and Swinson for the three-pointer to end the game, and it's no good. Grenora wins it 62-43. Grenora ups their overall record to 27-0. Halliday drops to 21-5. So Grenora will head to the championship tomorrow night, slated for approximately 8:15. They'll play the winner of that Carrington-Mayport Clifford-Galesburg game. That game coming your way, heck, in about 20 minutes. So what a great three-point effort. I mean, we talked about those threes all day long, Dan, but, you know, in that first half alone, when you can score 10 three-pointers, bingo. There you go, and there's the game. And John Cole standing by. John.
Roy, thank you very, very much. Kelly Gunlickson, first of all, how's the ankle?
I twisted it the other way this time. I just came down wrong, and it just happened to give on me, and it's going to be all right. It doesn't hurt anymore, so it's going to be fine.
Young man, a very gutty effort tonight, a very big contest.
Yeah, I just knew I had to come out and play. I mean, it's a state tournament. It's only going to happen to me once. You just got to come out and play, and I gave it all I got, and we had a great team effort, and we won.
Plus, you guys have been dreaming about this since about the fourth grade. I don't think they were going to keep you out of it.
No, there was no way he was going to keep me out of it. Anderson said, I'm not going to keep you out of the game. If you want to play, you're going to play. And I said, yeah, I'm going to play this game.
I think you folks have handled all the pressure very well, all the media coverage very well. You don't seem to me to be tight, and I've known this crew for a long time.
No, it's just like any game for us. I mean, we're as loose as can be in the locker room, and the media is just not phasing us. And we come out and play as a team, and we played a great game tonight.
Let's think about it for a second here. You're going to play for the state title tomorrow night.
It's a dream come true. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Mayville, Portland, or Carrington. I just can't wait to play tomorrow.
Kelly, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks.
All right, Brett Garland.
Thanks, John Cole here with Doug Swenson. Doug, last night that zone defense of yours really shut Rame down tonight. They just shot over it, didn't they?
Yeah, they came out unconscious. We wanted them to shoot the ball, and when you come out like that, I guess there's not much you can do. We worked our game plan to perfection on the defensive end, but they were just knocking those shots down, and there's not much you can do.
Yeah, it really forced you to come out of that game plan, didn't it? And you didn't want to play that way.
Yeah, we didn't want to come out of our zone and go to man-to-man, but that forced us to I give them all the credit. They are a great ball team. We're just going to have to come back tomorrow night and play our hearts out again.
Great effort tonight, Doug. Thank you very much. Rory and Dan, we'll send it back to you.
When you talk maturity, you're talking Grenora. And boy, they stepped it up and they hit the threes. And, you know, I think that, you know, Doug said it pretty well. I mean, you know, they did play some good defense. It's just that Grenora was hot early, and they continue to be hot, and they continue to sizzle through the game. We will be right back with more right after this. 2 seconds and counting. How do you like that, huh?
Yes, that's perfection right there, isn't it? Grenora finished the night with 10 three-pointers, but the key thing about that, Rory, was all 10 of those came in the first half, and that set the tone for this basketball game because they were facing the 1-2-2 jug zone defense, and in order to crack that type of defense, you would have to hit the perimeter shot, and they hit the three-pointer. As we take a look at the numbers on the game, Grenora from the field, 23 of 49, 47%. Halliday, 18 of 42, 43%. Free throws really not a factor in the game.
25 rebounds for Halliday, 26 for Grenora. 7 turnovers for Grenora, 10 for Halliday. Usually turnovers turn into points. Hunter Berg leading the way for Grenora, as usual, 21 points. Kelly Gunlickson had 17 points. Halliday was led by Doug Swinson. Big Doug Swinson threw in 19 points. So Hunter Berg and Kelly Gunlickson really the spark plugs for the Grenora Gophers today.
They all want to be on TV, don't they? Son of a gun. That's the way it is here at the State B in Minot, because we're right down here with the folks. How you guys doing? Big crowd here tonight. We're having fun at the State B.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, you know, there's always a nice crowd at the State B. In fact, it's so funny because we were here way early at around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and boom, there was a lot of fans here. Hey, folks, we'll return with the American Dairy Player of the Game right after this from your local dairy farmer. Players of the game, we have co-players. First one is Hunter Berg. Hunter Berg had 4 three-pointers, 21 points, and 6 assists, and there was a nice drive by Hunter Berg. Kelly Gunlickson is our other player of the game. Kelly Gunlickson, a gutty performance, 17 points, playing with a bad ankle. Both of these guys will receive a certificate and a donation to Grenora High School from your local dairy farmers. Ice cold milk, help yourself.
I think Hunter Berg set the tone early because 3 of his 4 three-pointers came in the first 8 minutes of the game, helped break that 1-2-2, and obviously the inspirational leader was Kelly Gunlickson. I tell you, these folks are crazy about the camera, and Gunlickson with a real inspirational effort finishing with 17.
Well, inspirational is one thing, but when you come back in that second, third, and fourth quarters and really be a spark plug, that's definitely a factor. Hey, we'll be back with this Carrington, Mayport, Clifford, Galesburg semifinal game. Stick around. You're watching the North Dakota State B on the Meyer Television Network.